Is Paul a Jew?
So he's no longer a Jew.
Lord have mercy.
Unjewed
himself. Sorry.
Yeah, he did.
One sec.
Christ unjewed.
So one second.
Because you're no longer
Hold on, just one second. You can't unjew yourself because being Jew is being by lineage of Jew. There's nothing in the world. So he starts off by saying idols are nothing anyway. All right,
brother, just
and that there's no God but one. Really, there's only one God, the Father, from whom are all things and for whom we exist, and one Lord, through whom are all things and through whom we exist. Then he says, howbeit there is not every man that has that knowledge.
That's fine.
So not everybody has strong faith. For some with consciousness of the idol, unto this hour eat it as a thing offered to an idol. So people who are still influenced by their old life, they still feel weak. Okay, but then what does he say? But me,
That it says that.
howbeit there's not. Can you stop covering the camera, brother?
Hey, brother.
Too many cameras. Too many cameras. We didn't want to be recorded.
Wait. What does it mean?
1, 2, 3, 4
Alright, bro.
cameras.
Here we go.
We didn't even want to be.
Here we go. Here, hold your phone, brother. Hold your phone.
Wait, I want to understand.
Brother,
One question.
can you move away from my camera?
Are you gonna let us film if you answer you?
5 cameras.
Brother, can you move away from my camera, please? I'm asking you nicely, you know?
We can always film on
fine,
our side as well.
Yeah, you can.
guys
You're
can
free.
film. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, you can film as well.
I was here before the camera was here.
That's fine.
So what?
That's fine.
You're moving on
Brother,
around
if you don't want to
and
be,
then you're telling me I'm
if
in
you
the
don't
way.
want to be in camera,
I was already
just
choose our battles.
Anthony, if you don't want to be in camera, you could step out. You
We'll
understand?
just
Yeah, I
choose our
understand.
battles.
She's fine. She's okay. Nobody's harming her. We're letting her speak. It's fine, brother. It's
It's a good dialogue.
No.
Yeah. So don't worry, brother. It's all good.
You want to discuss, right?
Relax.
We're gonna discuss. We're gonna discuss.
We're just having a
You're
friendly
trying to
discussion.
make it like I got no rights though.
Sorry, no
I was
rights.
already standing
What
there,
rights,
and you're
brother? What are you
telling me to
talking
move
about?
You can
in
stay.
a public area.
You want to stay?
Well,
No.
No, you can. Okay,
No,
stay.
you can stay.
We'll just move the camera.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm trying to say.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
Cool.
Let's continue.
Stay. Yeah, no problem. No problem.
Okay,
So, anyways,
sorry.
so yeah, it's very clear what it's saying there. Okay, food sacrificed to idols. You have the liberty to eat, but don't cause your weak brother to stumble.
So
That's
it's not
it.
commanding you to eat.
No, I didn't say he's commanding.
Yeah.
I never said he's telling you go eat. He's saying you can do it.
It's
if you want.
permissible.
He says it in Romans 14:2. Just no, listen. This is the question. Okay. Can Christians eat food not adding the condition of causing your brother stumble? We already covered that. In of itself, is it impermissible to do so?
The food itself is not unclean.
Is unclean. Okay.
Yeah.
Is sexual immorality in of itself unclean?
Yes.
Is food sacrifice? Is food sacrifice to idol in of itself unclean?
So this is where actually Christ said something. Okay, so what goes into the body is not what defiles a man.
Yeah.
But that's out
Yeah. And then Mark adds his own commentary on it. Mark adds saying all food is unclean, but Christ doesn't
we
say.
disagree on that part.
No, it's not that we disagree. Does
It is,
Christ say
because
all
I don't
food is
agree with
okay?
you,
Does
but yeah.
Christ say all food is clean?
He says it's not what goes into a man.
I understand. Matthew interprets that differently, though. Mark interprets that differently. Go if you read Matthew.
But before we get to that, can I just finish where I was, please?
No, but I just want to get to the point. The point is.
I know, but I want to get to my point.
I know. I'm gonna let you. Are you Canadian, by the way?
No, I'm from the States.
Okay, from the States. All right. So, because I saw this, I thought you were Canadian. So, yeah. So here's the deal. Acts says you cannot eat food sacrificed to idols. You cannot do sexual immorality. You cannot approach meat that is strangled, and so on and so forth. These are clear prohibitions without any further conditions. Yes?
And this is where Paul adds on.
This was it?
Yeah, that's the
But
thing.
I'm saying that's begging the question.
Yeah.
Because my very point is that Paul contradicts it. So by you saying I fix this
Can you
issue
tell me how he
by
contradicts
Paul
it?
because Paul says you can eat meat sacrificed to idols.
He says technically, this is what he's saying. Food itself is not unclean.
Right.
Do the apostles say that?
They
The
don't.
apostles don't even mention if it's unclean or not.
They do.
say that it's
They do.
strangled to idols.
They do. Peter does. In his dream,
This is
when
a
he's
different context.
just one sec,
That dream is
just
not
one
actually
sec, just one sec. I understand.
Yeah. Okay, sorry.
But within the dream, does Peter consider some foods unclean?
That's what he says.
Okay,
Yeah.
so does Peter knows that some food is clean, some food is unclean? The Jews, they were Jews. The Jews knew some food is clean, some food is
Because
unclean.
Peter was a Jew.
Exactly. James, who's given this condition, I understand. Of course they are. He says that listen, we're not going to burden you with following the whole law, but you have to follow these conditions. One of them is not eating food sacrificed to idols.
Okay.
Does Paul say you can do it?
Paul says that it's not unclean as of itself.
So you
So
can
it's
do
possible.
it. So you can do it?
Possible.
Right.
And then this
So
is
you
where I'm getting to
just
the
wait, you
point.
can do it?
It's not unclean as of itself.
So you can do
Can,
it.
but this
Okay.
is where he says you
That's a
can't.
contradiction.
This is where he's coming to say you can't.
Acts says you can.
Can I finish, please?
Sure, go ahead.
So this is where he's saying, technically, Paul was a very educated man.
Yeah.
He's debating.
And James wasn't?
They're both educated in different ways, but he's
Oh,
better
okay.
educated in this area. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Can I finish, please?
Yeah, go ahead, sorry.
So, at the end, I've been trying to read this verse for a couple
Yeah, go ahead.
of that chapter, like I said, on this note, because this is where he's clarifying. He's clarifying here, because the Corinthian church was a rebellious church. Okay, we
Okay.
know that. We know there's a lot of things going on in the Corinthian church that were not
Yep.
following these things that were set out in Acts 15.
Yep.
There was sexual immorality, there were brothers taking each other to court, there
Yeah.
was complete dissension inside
Yeah.
the church because they were not following what Christ
Yeah.
has laid out.
Yeah.
Okay? So, this is where I'm coming to. He says, because why did they come up to this decision anyways in Acts 15? What was their new reason?
Because there is a sect or a group of believing Jews
Yeah.
who said that you cannot be saved without becoming Jews.
Yep.
And so-
that was making...
That was making what?
So who is
So,
that upset?
so
Who is that unsettling the souls?
yeah, other groups were upset by this because they were confused. Do we as Gentiles have to become
It was
Jews?
unsettling their souls,
Or do
yeah.
we not have to become Jews? So then they go, and by the way, if Jesus taught this clearly, then this wouldn't have been a dispute to begin with.
Yep.
So the apostles wouldn't need to come together and come to a decision to
I'm gonna
begin
get to
with.
it, Jesus.
But we'll get to that in a second. Anyway, so yeah, that's the issue. So then they come together. By the way, do we agree that nobody here even disputes the idea that Jews have to follow the Jewish law?
If they're Jews, yeah.
They have
That's
to,
what
right?
Jews have to
Paul
do,
says
yeah.
no, but we'll get to that later.
Because they're not Jews
Paul,
now.
no,
They're Christians.
no, I'm saying Paul says even Jews don't have to follow it.
Yep.
Because they don't need to be Jews now.
So he said-
Lord have mercy. You just told me Jews have to follow the Jewish law, right?
They have to if they're Jewish.
Does Paul think so?
Not if they're not becoming Jews no more.
No.
Yeah.
Does Paul think Jews who are
Actual
already
Jews,
Jews
yeah.
have to follow the Jewish law?
Yes, he does.
No, he doesn't.
Can you tell me
He
where
said,
he says that?
oh yeah, he says, to the Jew I became a Jew to
Yeah.
win them over.
Yeah.
To those under the law, I became like one under the law,
Yeah.
Yeah.
though myself I am not under the law. Is Paul a Jew?
So he's no longer a Jew. because
Lord
he's
have
a
mercy.
Christian
Unjewed
now.
himself. Sorry.
Yeah, he did.
One sec.
Christ unjewed
So one
him.
second.
Because he no
Is-
longer
Christ
one
believes
sec. How does hold on.
He no longer
Hold on, just one
believes
second.
in
One
the
second.
Jewish
One
faith
second.
because
One
he
second.
became
You
a follower
can't
of Christ.
unjew yourself because being Jew is being by lineage a Jew. Was Paul by lineage a
He's talking about
Jew?
the religion, not the lineage.
No. So in this time, Judaism and Christianity were not two different religions. In the book of Acts, Christians,
Can I ask
the
you a
followers,
question when you're done?
I know, the followers of the way are just a sect of Judaism. It's in the book of Acts. No, you're shaking your head because it's in the book of Acts.
Can you tell me where it is?
Yeah, okay. Here,
think you're
please give me your
misinterpreting that.
please give me your phone. Here, look, it's gonna say the sect. Here, let me pull it up real quick.
Are you talking about where it says the sect of believing Jews?
No, one sec.
These guys are getting too loud, bro.
It's the sect of the
gonna have to hunt
Nazarenes.
them down
One
soon.
sec. Not understanding it. I can pull it up for you.
Because there's a difference between people who are born. For example, okay, look, I was born in the States.
Here,
Yeah.
there, one sec. Acts 24:5. We have found this man to be a troublemaker. Who's this? These are, they're complaining about Paul.
Yeah.
Okay.
These are the Jews.
We have found this man to be a troublemaker, stirring up riots among the Jews all over the world. He is the ringleader of the Nazarene sect.
Yes.
Okay. What is this Nazarene sect?
These are people who are born Jews. Okay.
Uh-huh.
This is where we're getting.
Is Paul
But
born a
have
Jew?
He was born a Jew, but he was
Okay.
Roman
So he's
citizen, and he was
from.
born in Nineveh.
Okay, cool. So he is of this Nazarene sect, right?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So does he have to follow the law?
This is where I'm getting to, AJ.
Yeah, you're not
He's-
answering. Speak, you see?
No, I'm getting to it.
Yeah.
He doesn't have to follow the
You just told me
ceremonial law.
Jews have to follow the law.
Ceremonial law. He
No,
doesn't have
there's
to
no
follow
distinction.
that.
There's no distinction.
There is a
there.
distinction.
Where is it?
And where Christ says in the Beatitudes, where he expounds
Yeah.
and opens up the Ten Commandments.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's not opening up the ceremonial law.
So where does he say you have to follow this part of the law and not that part of the law? Where does he say that? Because you told me all Jews, according to the book of Acts, it's already pre-assumed, it's already a given that all Jews have to follow the law. They are Jews. Only the Gentiles don't have to. Paul, who's a Jew, says, I'm not under the law. You know what else he says in Romans 7? He says all Jews don't have to follow the law. You want to know why? Because he says when Christ died, so this is the example he gives, right? He says we are just like a woman when she's married to her husband, they're bound by a marriage contract.
Yes.
Okay? So he says God gave us this contract, the Torah, and we're bound by it. But when Christ died, we all died with him. So this is Gentile or Jew, because they all die with Christ. And when we die with Christ, we are set free from the contract. So are Jews set free from the Torah?
Yes.
Lord have mercy.
Can I ask you a question?
Lord have mercy.
That's what it says.
You told me Jews have to follow the law.
If they're Jews, when they
revisit what you said
become
earlier.
Christians, AJ, this is where it changes.
What's your name? What's your name?
AJ.
AJ. I want to revisit something we mentioned
Yes.
earlier. You know, I asked you if the Quran says it's the
It confirms the Bible. That's what you said.
if it confirms the Bible, yes.
What I'm saying.
found this
just so
Quran
you
verse.
understand.
Sorry, she just wants to say something. So I'm going to give you the opportunity because, so go ahead.
It's gonna pick up on the mic, so you might want to be.
When someone who's from a different faith
Yeah.
comes to Christ, they are no longer in that faith. So you guys believe in Islam. If I was to become a Muslim, am I a Christian Muslim?
No.
Do I still have to follow what Christ says?
According to the book of Acts, a born Jew has to follow the Jewish law.
Okay, so this is where I'm getting.
And Ezekiel.
If you are a Jew by religion, this is where Acts is saying, because there's two different concepts here. Because in Israel,
It's that woman from
the
yesterday.
Jews were also those born in Judea. So that was the area. And also those who followed the Jewish faith. Okay?
Do you want to face him just because it's gonna pick up on the mic? So I think it's better if
So
you
your
face him.
voice picks up.
So those who follow the Jewish faith, and also is a word to describe those who are born or from the heritage of the Judea area, which goes back all the way down to when Joshua, the patriarchs, so far back to that area, the area of Judea, okay, where this heritage before the dispersion of the Jews. I think you know about Nebuchadnezzar and the Babylonians. They were dispersed. People from that area, Judea. Okay? So, that's one aspect of what a Jew is. But then you also have people who are Jews by faith. Okay? So, for example, you probably see a lot of people today who are Jewish by faith.
They don't believe in Jesus.
No, they don't.
Okay, so here's the problem, right? Let's go with that, although that distinction is not there. Let's go with that. It's not.
Ask my question.
I'm just going to make this point, then you can ask.
Yeah,
So
because
here's
it's
the
gonna
thing, right?
conclude on it.
Paul is a Jew who believes in Christ.
By nationality.
By nationality.
Yes.
Okay. So then, according to your logic, he doesn't have to follow the Torah anymore, right?
Not the Torah,
The law.
but Jesus sets out in the Ten Commandments is what you
Okay. Does he have to follow? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Cool, no problem. Are Nazarite vows part of the Ten Commandments?
I haven't looked into the Nazarite.
They're not. But they're part of the law in general. So why is it that when Paul goes to Jerusalem in Acts 21, and he's in trouble because they're hearing that they're teaching people to forsake Moses, okay? Why is it that James
Gets arrested.
forces him to pay for a Nazarite vow?
Can you tell me where he's
Acts chapter
Acts
21.
21.
If he didn't have to follow the law, then why does James make him follow the law?
Yep.
Because he's becoming a Jew to those who, because this when he says
Okay. Oh, okay.
this is where, can
Yeah.
you be a bit respectful, please?
Am I not?
You're not being, you're laughing at me, which isn't very
Oh, I'm sorry. This is just my personality. I apologize.
It's okay. That's fine.
I apologize. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So when where Paul was talking, okay, Jew to the Jews, Gentile to the Gentiles,
Does that
if
mean
I
he
wanted to
pretends to
reach-
be a Jew?
this is where I'm getting to.
Yeah.
So you have the Jewish ceremonies.
Yep.
One of these Nazarene sects, one of those sects.
He gets arrested.
Yeah.
It's not one of those things where he's completely forsaking Christ and becoming a Jew again. Okay?
Yeah.
This is something that he's actually warning against.
Yeah.
That's what he's warning against in 1 Corinthians.
So is he pretending to be Jewish?
He's not pretending to be Jewish. He is becoming a part of their culture, to reach them. If I wanted to go, and I don't mean to be disrespectful by this, but if I wanted to go and reach Muslim women, there's some ways that I maybe, can do that a bit better. I don't know, maybe wearing a long skirt. I have Muslim friends. I'm at university at the moment. I have Muslim friends, and I would be respectful to them to not cause unnecessary offense. I will not compromise my faith, but I will not cause unnecessary offense to them in order to reach them. Okay? So this is what Paul's talking about.
So he's not. So just the context here is not trying to reach anyone. He's in trouble.
Yeah, he's getting arrested.
So he's in trouble. Acts 21, he's in trouble. He goes to Jerusalem. I'm going to tell you. He goes to Jerusalem. James meets him. He says, you know, brother, how many thousands of Jews have believed and are all zealous for the law. Okay, I'm going to tell you. Then he says, they have been hearing that you teach Jews to forsake Moses and they're going to kill you. Is that true?
Well, this is what's happening, yes.
So is it true that he's teaching Jews to forsake Moses?
No.
So he's not teaching Jews to, you don't have to follow the Torah anymore?
You have to follow the Ten Commandments if you love
Okay,
Christ.
is circumcision part of the Ten Commandments?
No.
Okay, but he says, you teach Jews not to forsake Moses and not to circumcise their
We
children.
know that circumcision goes farther back than Moses.
Okay, I understand. But according to the Torah, you have to get circumcised. Okay? I know it goes further. But anyways, is Paul teaching people that they don't have to get circumcised?
No, yes, he is.
Okay, why does James says go and do this to show them that these are not true?
Because when you're saying that you're teaching them to forsake Moses
And
teaching
not to
them
circumcise their
leave
children.
the ceremonial laws, which is part of the circumcision. There is the ceremonial and then there's the Ten Commandments. You mentioned that if a foreigner was to come in, they have to follow these rules, yeah?
So is it true or is it not true?
He's telling them to forsake the ceremonial laws.
Okay, so it's true.
Because the ceremonial law was what was made for.
But James says, here Paul, show them that it's not true. You're not saying that.
Because he's not telling them to forsake everything Moses says.
Circumcision.
It's time to forsake that,
But-
because that's no longer needed.
James says, show them that you're not teaching that.
This is where I'm getting to, AJ. We're being circumcised of the heart.
What was your name again?
And my name's Nina.
Nina?
Nina.
Nina, you are all over the place. I'm telling
Because you
you.
keep interrupting me.
No, it's because you can't get your story right.
I'm not telling you you're all over the place, am I?
Because I'm not. I'm not all over the place. I'm giving
Being
you.
respectful of you. I'm not
Okay. Just because
you are, because you keep interrupting and changing.
Okay, but this is a conversation. This
can't even ask a question.
understand, but this is a conversation. So if I do interrupt you here and there, it's expected. If you interrupt me here and there, it's also expected. I apologize if I do interrupt you. It's just the nature of a conversation.
But what I'm saying, AJ, is sorry to interrupt. But
It's okay.
I think it's a necessary advance. When I'm trying to finish the subject, you keep changing the subject.
Okay, that's fine. You could finish what you're saying. Okay, you could say it to me, to the camera, and we can move on to him as well.
Circumcision from food.
Yeah, I know we've gone all over.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna give you the opportunity. I'm gonna give you the opportunity to say your final remarks here. If you want to explain to me or to people watching, because I will upload it. So yeah.
Can I ask though that you do not edit it, please?
No, it's not gonna be edited. It's gonna be full. You want me to blur your face?
Just because I work in an area that may get me into trouble if I'm on.
Okay, I'll blur your.
face.
Okay, editor, make sure you blur your face. Okay, so I'll have your face blurred as well. And huh?
Was live.
I didn't know that.
Oh, you were live.
Not me, but this one.
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't have control over their cameras. Yeah, so for me.
This is why you should ask permission first.
Well, actually,
Brother.
you don't need. He's doing
He's doing it off camera. He's doing it off camera.
But I don't even have to blur her face. I'm doing it out of
But you
just
heard
respect for her. Yeah.
You heard
She only mentioned it now, so
Yeah. So anyways,
From now
yeah,
on,
you could go ahead and
For
finish.
future conversation, just let us people know.
So just to sum up, we've talked about circumcision.
brother,
Yeah.
We've talked about food
if we're
sacrifice.
recording, by extension, you know that you're in public.
Yes.
They come over
And this is where I'm going to finish off,
common
bringing all
courtesy
those
to
things
say,
together.
look, by the way,
So
recording.
I've told you, and you will probably agree, that those who come to Christ do not have to follow the ceremonial law anymore, which involves
This is a good discussion.
circumcision.
Look, this is a good discussion, brother. This should be out.
Yeah.
I have one question.
However,
We're gonna get to
Paul
that. We're gonna get to
says
that.
at the end of 1
Big question, no worries.
that if you cause your brother to sin, you're sinning against Christ. You're sinning if you commit adultery, if you steal, that is a sin.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're sinning against Christ, so you should not do it.
Okay.
If you're offending a brother, you should not do it because it's a sin against Christ. Okay, around the world, and this is going to be what I'm going to be saying. I know there's going to be people who don't agree with me, but I do not think we should be eating food sacrifice. Okay,
So you disagree with Paul?
Paul doesn't disagree with me. 'cause
No,
it's
yeah, he does.
what he's saying. He's saying if you,
Nini. Oh, sorry. Yeah, go ahead. I just wanted to make sure I got your name right. Nina. Okay.
Okay, so where Paul says at the end of this, and I will read it out to you guys just so you know what Paul says at the end of 1 Corinthians 8.
Yep.
He says, and this is where Paul, he likes to have these round discussions. He says he likes to have these long discussions, Paul does. I do what I do not want to do, for example. He's talking about sin. What I want to do, I do not do, and what I do want to do, I do not do. So it's things that can kind of mess with your brain a little bit because it's very complicated. Okay?
Yeah.
So this is what Paul's having, those sort of conversations. He's going back and forth as a part of the debate, critically analyzing. Okay, I don't know if you've been to further studies, but you would critically analyze, saying one person says this, one person says this. Okay, and he's saying at the end of 1 Corinthians 8, following this discussion, technically it's not unclean because what God has made is not unclean. Yeah. However, it's been sacrificed to idols, and this is offending to the brother. And this is where it comes into Acts 15, by the way, where the whole topic came up because the unsettling of the souls of the brethren who are Gentiles.
Can I ask you the question?
Consciences.
Yeah, just because a few mics mic'd up. But we can you can make your case.
Paul says then at the end of 1 Corinthians 8, which I don't know if we were able to read on live actually.
But it's gonna overlap.
And 13.
Over his
but when you sin against a brother, against the brethren, you wound their weak conscience and you sin against Christ.
We read that.
Yeah, we read that part. But then there's a part after that where Paul says, therefore, if food makes my brother stumble, I will never again eat meat.
No, but I need it on record.
So Paul isn't disagreeing with me; he's agreeing with me. Okay, he's saying I would not do it. Don't do it. Okay, at the end of that chapter, he sums up. He says, technically, in the logical sense, you can. But if you're making your brother sin,
are you sinful if you do it?
You're making your brother sin. You're saying Christ. Yes.
Without making your brother, if you don't make your brother sin, are you sinful if you do
because
it?
there's going to be a brother out.
No. If you're on your own and you eat meat sacrificed to idols, there's nobody around you.
Your brother's
are you
going to
sinful?
be wounded by that.
No, your brother, he doesn't know.
He doesn't know.
How could he be?
He will know.
He hasn't seen you.
Okay, and if he doesn't know eventually,
you're not
we're all
making
going to
sense.
be we believe if you come to Christ, you're going to be.
And he literally says you are no better if you do, and no less if you don't.
Yep.
No, but you're making your brother sin.
I understand, but he says you are no better if you do.
Technically, in that sense, is what I'm saying.
Okay, I understand.
Okay?
So if you're alone and you eat the food,
Nobody
nobody's
knows about
around
it.
you.
Nobody
Nobody's
knows
ever.
about it.
You're good. No one is around you to make his faith weak. And by the way, this doesn't even apply today, because this is for Roman Gentiles.
Then you got the
who
thing.
live
I wouldn't eat
in the
halal food
past.
personally because
You wouldn't eat halal food, but you can eat food sacrificed to demons?
I wouldn't eat food sacrificed to demons either.
Are you allowed to?
It says technically because the food itself is not unclean.
Okay. So you are technically allowed to eat food sacrificed to Satan.
I wouldn't do it.
Are you
but
technically
you're
allowed?
allowed. You're allowed.
Technically because it's not unclean.
Wow.
Okay,
But not
There you
halal
have
food.
it, ladies and gentlemen.
if I was to eat with food that was, sacrificed to something other, and we don't even do sacrifices anymore because Christ paid it in full.
Right.
You do not need a sacrifice
So
for sin.
halal,
Christ
no.
paid it.
Satan, yes.
Halal, no. Satan, no.
Say no with conditions.
No.
But anyways, let's get to this, brother.
Anyways, thank you so much, Nini.
Can I finish, please?
You haven't finished
I
yet?
wasn't done yet. No.
Oh wow.
Thank you.
You need a whole sermon. Okay, go ahead.
I don't believe in women preaching. Thank you.
You don't believe in women preaching?
Not sermons. No. That's something.
Okay.
So what are you doing here?
Fast
I'm
Timothy.
sharing the gospel. That's different from preaching in church.
Like woman pastors.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
No women pastors, but women preaching is okay. All
Women
right.
sharing the gospel in public is different.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
All right.
So yeah, I'm saying that if it's
You were reading the
sacrifice-
end of Corinthians.
Yes.
You read the last
He
verse.
says that he would not make his brother stumble.
Alright.
That's sinning against God.
All right.
Because he was in a high up position as well. I mean, I don't think that we know. If we feel like we need to do something in secret, maybe we shouldn't be doing it.
Yeah.
How about that?
Yeah. That's fine.
Yeah.
It still doesn't
And
solve
at
the
the end of the day,
contradiction.
at the end of the day,
You want to sing this? I just want to tell you
it's not the ceremonial law that saves us.
There's no distinction in the Bible.
When Christ talks about the Beatitudes, that's different. He's talking about his kingdom. These laws show that Israel is separate.
Yeah, but he doesn't make a distinction between a category of laws and another.
It's different.
This distinction doesn't exist.
So
This is a
you-
later distinction
If
that was
when
made
we
up
come
by
to Stratford,
Christians.
next time we meet up and I'll bring the distinction.
Sure.
Sounds
Sure, no
good.
problem. I appreciate you so much. Thank you for having the conversation.
Sorry if it was a bit
I know,
all over,
I know that.